hypothetical. I think maybe there would be something. I'm not 100% sure. Is it hard to take that and be like, okay, yeah, haha, like we're part of the community, and then move forward?
Look, I'll be brutally honest, right? You get nasty messages, and it's a minority, but being a games dev who's so publicly known, it's hard. Especially if you're in the testing team, right? As exactly as you say, they're the ones who get the blame. And, you know, we see death threats and awful stuff like that. It's just mad, the stuff that people will post, all because a bug went live or a change happened that they didn't exactly like. It's horrible stuff. But you said it yourself, Rich. One QA team in-house, playing it for hours on end for even months, are not comparable to 50,000 people running at it in the first 10 minutes after launch. It's the amount of testing that instantly gets done is just a different level, and we can't replicate that. You can't replicate that in development.
But you're talking about yesterday, right? Like, we had an entire team sitting there. We pressed the button on leagues, and then everyone was working to fix bugs, because you can't dump, like he said, dump 50,000 people in it in a second and then see what happens.
We work with them. I think, sorry, Mike. I think our wiki is the best wiki in any game ever. It is phenomenal. Old school RuneScape wiki, if you want to look at it, it was initially on fandom, like most wikis are, but the people who were running the wiki, like the volunteers, the people submitting to it, just got really pissed that fandom were spamming it with tons of ads. So we were working with them. We basically said, okay, wiki, I think I can say this. Here's the money to run the website, but you go nuts. This is all you. And now we get the chance to collaborate with them. So leagues, for example, we knew that as soon as the update hit at like 10:30 a.m., people could data mine and see the content coming in. So half an hour before that, we just gave the information to them. You can look at past, you can look at relics. So by working with those types of players, you can use them to your advantage rather than disadvantage.
I was just going to say, when I first started playing, right, again, as I said, I played years ago, and then when I came on board, I started to play again, obviously, because I got to play the game, right, because we're working on it. But I needed help, and it's got this vibe, right? The community in the game, very much like the communities I remember coming up playing MMOs, and then the community outside, Reddit, and then this wiki, right? That's just, hey, where do I find this? And go into the wiki, and then there's people having a discussion, and there's Reddit posts, and then there's people in the game that you can actually, and people are really chill. Like, that's the one thing I got off of it. The community is super cool, almost like it was kind of trapped in time, like the game itself. So I think the community's pretty solid. Outside,
I do miss how the internet used to be, though. I'll be perfectly honest. Like, before wiki and before all these detailed YouTube videos, you would talk to players in game and you'll say, hey, do you know how to do this? And they'll say, no, I don't. Do you want to go do this instead? And you're like, okay, cool. I'm not going to do what I set out to do. But now information is so accessible and it's so easy to get to. And it's great because we're all adults now and we want to use our time wisely. But I do miss, and we can't bring it back. The only way you can bring it back is by go back in time. Yeah. But I miss being a stupid 11-year-old who doesn't know shit about the game. And YouTube is just starting up and there's nothing on there. And even if there was, it's really hard to find it by searching for it. The only website guides are terrible. they're written by slightly less stupid 13-year-olds for dumb 11-year-olds like me. That's how the internet used to be. I miss it in some ways, but now you need to embrace the fact that information sharing is so easy. People will tweet the next strat. People at Wiki will build a guide an hour after it's released.
Expert players will be streaming it on Twitch the second it's released.
Exactly
right?
that, yeah.
It's right there, everyone's fingertips. I'm curious.
Enrique!
Experience the same in WoW, but you know, back in the mid 2000s, the players were just there to have fun, right? Nobody knew the best strats. Nobody was obsessed with gains and efficiency. And nowadays, the player base for both RuneScape and RuneScape is so much more.
Y'all put on
driven. If it's a
some
waste
COD
of
later?
time, they aren't doing it. Fun is off the agenda.
We're totally on the same page here. That's exactly what it is. Like, I totally agree with that. I remember back when and that's who you would ask. That was basically your Google. And if that guy didn't know it, it probably didn't exist. Because yeah, I was doing the exact same things, trying to read information on these dog shit websites that were just dysfunctional. They didn't work half the time, and the half the time that they did work, they had the wrong stuff on them anyway. And then half the time they did the wrong stuff is because people put it on there wrong on purpose just to mess with everybody else. So yeah, it was amazing. And so you would sit down and you would try to figure things out and learn them yourself. I feel like that's one of the coolest things about playing a brand new game. Like any brand new MMO release is always super fun because, especially if there's no like beta or anything like that that wasn't under NDA, you would just be able to go into the game and nobody knows what this does. Nobody knows what's in that house. Nobody knows what's on top of that mountain. And you just do it and you play it and you see what it's like. And having that experience and having the journey like that is something that I think every MMO player kind of longs for to a certain extent. And you're right, like there's no way you can go back to that without a time machine. You're 100% right, and it's really sad.
To bounce off of that though, really
Yo.
quick, because I remember you would read the guides and it was very clear that the person spent more time on the ASCII art for the guide than actually writing the guide itself. And it's inevitable that
Example, like you're jumping in and right away, what relic do I choose? Holy shit, what? That, okay, it gives that effect, or that one gives that effect. How is that going to influence my choices 20 minutes from now? And then you get the next relic. Yeah, it's the same decision again, pick from these three. Then you have to choose a region. Like, which one do I choose? So it's stripping you back to the beginning where you don't have access to all the optimal methods from day one. And the first league, Crystal League, I think you said you played, Rich, where this is set on a continent that we had released only a few years earlier, and not everybody had understood all of the content and all the mechanics that are there. So that was another example of taking players right back and taking them out of their comfort zone. And working on MMO, you can't do that regularly, put players out of their comfort zone. So these types of seasonal content is a really good way to do that. It's also a great way to surprise players. You know, with the polling system, there aren't any surprises. Maybe tiny little events for Halloween or Christmas and Easter, you know, we do those every couple of months, every season as well. But Leagues offers the best opportunity for us to keep stuff for ourselves, surprise players, delight players with something they did not expect.
So, something that we've seen with a game like with us playing World of Warcraft a whole bunch, I think one of the interesting things is rewards over time become very saturated, right? Because there's kind of a fixed amount of reward styles that exist in the game, whether it's cosmetic appearance, whether it's actual gear, all of that stuff just gets inflated, and ultimately it becomes very hard to be excited about anything. How do you guys remedy that in a game like old school RuneScape?
Honestly, it's a difficult problem, exactly as you say. People want new raiding dungeons, people want new bosses all the time. But if it doesn't come with amazing loot, it's a waste of time, right? Why are you going to go and kill that boss bar the first few times? So we try to focus on being clever. We try to come up with niches, special effects that equip can have. So it might be great at this one area of the game, this new sword or weapon or whatever it is, or this defensive armor as a special effect, and that. The other aspect is we often do it attachments, so we don't undermine previous best gear. All of our gear is generally tradable, so it sells on the market, and obviously if you release something that's better than it, it will just crash in value, right? Because everyone wants the new best thing. So often we'll drop an attachment that you combine with the previous piece, so that both of them still have value. And to get the best one, you've got to buy both of them ultimately. So it's challenging though, because eventually we'll fill it. And there's only so far you can go. How much better can gear be until it just, you know, destroys everything in the game that already exists? So.
How many kind of like the chase things back in the day have remained chase items? Because like I remember like party hats, for example, like it was just like that one of those I always as a player thought of when I thought of this game. Like how many of those items and those nostalgic pieces were able to maintain that moving forward?
Quite a few, I think. So party hats, you know, are worthless. That's because every Christmas we drop a shit ton of them. There aren't really any exclusive discontinued rares anymore. That was a design choice we made, and it's also something we pro players on. We played them on it twice, and these other ones tend to remain accessible. No discontinued rare from 2004, you can't ever get it again. In terms of equipment, like Barrow's armor, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, that's still pretty useful. Abyssal Whip, still very useful, and that's a really iconic item. Dragon Fire Shield, Dragon Dagger, special attacking options there. And to Kieran's point of trying to create item syncs by using attachments, it makes it retain value, and more often than not, players will be walking around in that type of gear as well. Also, God War's armor. So God Wars was really popular between players between 2007 and 2011. That the World War, the act of killing those bosses was relevant then, and it's still relevant now. We're very careful to not go crazy with power creep, and we want to keep like Bando's armor like the best armor or the best ranged armor, and it stays that way until we can find niches, and that's when players start mixing and matching.
How do you guys feel about FOMO in games in general? Because this is something that Asmund and I actually come out and are only available like kind of like a lot of obviously a lot of people in chat instantly just being like, it's terrible, like it's an awful idea. Do you think that there ever is a time that is worthwhile? Yeah, let's do it.
I think they're great sometimes. Like they can be a really useful development tool. Sometimes you play new games, new MMOs, and if you're an alpha tester or a beta tester, you get this new item, and then that's your encouragement to go in and break the game and give it. For us, we're doing our mantra is everybody should get anything for anything. Community driven. But I've spoken before. If I was to release a brand new game, I'd change the polling system. If I was to release a brand new game, when it comes to the testing stages, I'd offer some those type of tests. I'd be happy to introduce discontinued items in a way that would benefit the development of the game.
That makes sense. I mean, like, I remember there are some cool things about WoW that are discontinued. That's definitely true, but I think it's also in the context of the game just like getting harder and harder and harder. And if you avoid the power creep issue, then there's no reason to have discontinued items. Because if you don't have massive power creep, then there's never going to be a time where you can just have
And some stuff is not really readily accessible. Like the best gear in the game, you need 1 billion coins, or more 1 billion coins to get the entire set of it. So there's going to be that FOMO, but it just encourages you to play more, grind more, earn more, and then be able to buy them. Or you know, maybe you're an Iron Man and you can't buy that shit. You need to try and grind it yourself.
And to be honest, the value of these things perfect because it's cheap. it tomorrow if I don't do it now. And the same for weeklies and that sort of thing. It is truly, you can play anytime you want and get anything you want. And that's something I think we should try and stick to.
Yeah, I think that's something that's kind of unique too, is like not actually having like gates besides raw time invested in the game. I can't think of many other games, especially on the MMO front, that don't have some sort of system that gates you. Whether it's a resource, which tends to be really shitty. Anytime you have I'm not going to mention. You probably already know.
There's a lot of them.
But they're like there's so
Nothing is fair. Not life, not death. But through the jailer, control of our fate will at last be possible.
There is nowhere to hide. Death comes for you all.
Our duty is grim.
Is this the best you can do?
Many have been lost.
Remember this lesson. You know what must be done.
We're going to tear it all down.
The light is with me, even here.
Nothing escapes the law.
As farming would. But what I do believe in is, I don't want the player to log in because they feel like they are forced to, because it's efficient to do so. I want a player to log in because they want to play the damn game.
wow.
Wow.
Wait, when you said that, I remembered that my resin's probably full right now. So, like just that itch, right? Like the really unhealthy thing, and it's super nice when you do feel like you have to. I do this right now, and it's all having the character be your parents. I think allows for a lot of those things to happen as well, right? Because it's like, okay, right now I feel like watching a movie, so I'm gonna do the second screen thing. But right now I want to go all in on the game, and I'm gonna finish this quest. I think that is something that is really unique.
Yeah. I mean,
And it's also tough. It's tough because players have choice, which means that onboarding experience and everything we've already touched on as well. Like, it's hard because how do you determine a goal when you don't know what a logical goal is? That's hard, and this problem we've got to try and solve.
it's like teaching the player to an extent too, right? I mean, I think that's like one struggle that like games have is that whenever you have an MMO and then you get to the end game very quickly, like in classic World of Warcraft, for example, it would take you 60 levels to get to the end game. So by the time that you got to the end game, you knew what you wanted to do because you spent 60 levels preparing for it. But if you hit the end game like a few days or a few weeks, maybe even, you don't really get that understanding of like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to go after, etc. And then also you have the players that kind of talk about, and I'm sure like this happens with OSRS a lot, whenever there's like the new, I remember whenever the Inferno Cape thing came out, and I watched that was the biggest fucking deal. And so you heard about that, and you would think, oh my god, this is what I want to do whenever I get max level, if you're like a serious player. So being taught those things by other players is, I think, what really kind of creates those goals. And having the player-driven goals is, in some ways, more powerful than having just the players, or sorry, the game developers just tell you, oh, you have to do this 10,000 times or 50 times or whatever.
What I love about stuff like the Inferno, because obviously you get the unique cape, right? It animates on your back, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
But you don't know about it until you see it in game. You're like, holy shit, what is that cape? Where can I get it? And that might be that moment that just inspires you to set a goal. And to have something like that, it's awesome. And it's truly this end game challenge. It's something you've really got to work towards all the way through your account. You're probably talking max combat stats, the best equipment, and things like that before you even stand a chance. And then there's the skill cap. And I think this is something that might be an interesting topic, to be honest. Old school RuneScape, right? Or RuneScape as a whole, starting as a browser game, it's not the sort of thing everyone looks at and thinks, that game's going to be difficult, that game's going to have a skill cap. If it's in the browser, it's not just like Farmville on Facebook. It's not. It's a real MMO with a real.
isn't it?
That didn't take me 4 hours to get that tutorial out.
You're remarkable. You're helping the game.
It's absolutely remarkable. Okay, well,
Look, let me tell you, you worked out how to move the camera, right? Some people struggle. They don't realize. They
Okay.
just move around the tutorial. Like,
You're
I
giving me
can't click on anything because the camera. I can't move the camera.
You're giving me too much credit. I have to chat. Okay, like yeah, I
Fair,
have to
fair.
chat on that one. Is it okay if we do a few questions? Because obviously, the chat's asked tons of things throughout the interview, and they've kind of one thing that they keep bringing up is dual arena. This is one thing that they want to hear something about. So where are you guys at with that?
Kick it off, Sween.
Cool. Let's get some context then.
Yeah.
So the dual arena in game is an area in game. It's like a coliseum in a sandy desert part of the game. You can challenge other players to duels. It's the dueling arena. As part of that, you can also stake against them. So, you know, I'm going to wager my coins against your coins that I'm going to beat you into a duel. Historically, a lot of players were using that just to try to like test their combat prowess because I think I'm a better player than you are. Let's bet money on it. Now we've seen like some communities in game which are more around how can I make it as streamlined as possible because I want to duel over and over and over and over and over again. And now that content has some kind of connotations attached to, you know, real world trading, botting, gold farming, that type of stuff. So what we're seeing at the moment is quite a vocal message from the community, which is we want to see you kind of dismantle the arena or tackle types of content around the dueling arena to mitigate the really negative types of communities around it. And I guess our response to that is, yeah, we're totally open to it. We have on our roadmap, I know it's on our bullshit, it's like, oh, we were going to do it anyway. But on our roadmap for early 2021, there was going to be a project based on which is maybe going to look around how do we keep the parts that players like and are good for the game and get rid of the bad stuff. And now, because it's such a pressing issue, it might be that we bring elements of that change forward.
We've talked about everything just blowing up. You know, and again, we talked about again, we want to be super transparent, so we will, right? We can cap staking, we can cap how often we can do all kinds of stuff. That's a lot of it, right? To Sween's point, it is on our roadmap, and pull it forward. It's not, nothing's off the table, right? And it's all because of the players and how they're reacting. But to Kieran's point earlier, we have data, and there are a lot of players that use this without getting into the real world trading and all that stuff. So we got to figure out a way. Like that, we got it. We have data. Make some changes. We'll look at the data again. Make sure that we're going the right direction. We'll make more changes, but I'd like to do it. You know what we're getting into, because it's easy. We can just blow it up tomorrow. That's going to impact like legitimate players, and I don't want to do that either.
Yeah, I can see that. It's always going to be a balance, I'll say for sure. And another question people had was
enemy cruise missile.
about, I'm assuming the group Iron Man, where you're pretty much going to be, I don't really fully understand what this is, but I can pretty much guess based off of what PoE is. It's basically where you can win and you can play between the different people in the group. Is that pretty much it?
Yeah, that's it. So again, they're asking about it. So we're quite open about this one. This isn't very much like a secret thing. We announced it at the last Reaper Fest we were at. It was going to be released this year, but we had to push it back. All kind of types of reasons. So obviously COVID happened, our development schedule was impacted. And rather than spending all of our dev time, like we're making dev time, which is less efficient than it was being in the studio, working on this one project, we thought, okay, what if we were to split the dev time? We keep people working on the infrastructure to build it, but in the meantime, we release other types of content too. That's what we decided to do. That's what we talked about openly in our leadership live streams and our monthly blog, the Gielenor Gazette. And we basically said, okay, it's moving from end of this year. So probably, what do we say, like early next year, in the first half of next year, that type of time frame. We can't wait for it. It's going to be amazing. I mean, we'd love to see like an OTK group Ironman. That would be nuts.
Honestly, like I really like that game. That's like one of the things I like about PvE. That was badass, and straight up, if you guys do that, I would probably try and do that. That would be appreciate that. Do you have any other questions?
I'm good, man. That was a lot of fun. It's really cool too to be able to talk about, like, there's obviously some stuff when you have a game that's just lasted so long that are very difficult, and actually hearing people it's it like takes time. It's really refreshing. So I just want to thank you guys for giving us the opportunity, and thank you guys for getting to talk to everybody in the community. Hope that we get to chat really soon, especially.
Thank you guys all so much. Really, really, really good.
Had a great time, so
Awesome.
genuinely, thanks for having us on this one.
Thank you so much.
Of course, and yeah, thank you guys very much. And for anybody else who wants to stick around, we're playing the game in the after show. So just stick around and hang out. But yeah, thank you guys all so much. We really appreciate it, and we did kind of enjoy the game. It was fun. I didn't really know what to think going into it, honestly, for the first time.
I haven't even gotten to play yet. Like, well, like you're gonna find out really soon. Like, cause the thing was is you had to figure out like the basics. You can actually do some shit.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys. I'll be honest. I am going to enjoy playing this if I don't have 100 people following me, and I'm gonna be able to just kind of see what's going on and really just enjoy it. I really do appreciate it, because again, like the first time that I ever played this game, I don't know if you guys heard the story. The first time I ever played the game, I was in 3rd grade. My friend came to my house and got on my computer and we went to the website RuneScape, and I played the game and I thought to myself, this is the greatest game I've ever played in my life. And the next day, I never played it again. And you want to know why? Because I could not spell it. And I didn't want to ask, right? Because, like, you know, so, you know, life basically goes according to that's effective.
Dude, is that because it's easier to type W and W? It's easy to remember.
Do you guys want to hear
Pretty much, yeah.
something really embarrassing?
I actually used to call Warcraft back in the day, just war for that exact reason. Like,
my story is embarrassing than Asmon's. I've never shared it before.
Go ahead.
I remember very vividly one of the first nights I ever played RuneScape. There was a restaurant where I grew up called Friendly's. Yeah. Strawberry shortcake ice cream, and I forget what I did, but my parents were very happy. They took me out. My friends were telling me to play RuneScape that came out to dinner with us with my family. I forget what we were time in my life that I was ever constipated. And my parents were trying to explain to me what was going on. I thought that I died. And I'm so wow. Ever. The first time I played RuneScape, I actually shit my pants.
And this is the moment you chose to share it?
At the right time. I I never planned on sharing the story.
The game.
Hey, we're going Hey, make it
I just didn't want to get it up, and I thumping at the time, and I loved it. It was worth it.
You know what? I've got a story. Now it sounds very terrible. People in our game compete for getting the most XP in 24 hours in a particular skill, right? There's high scores for this. So, somebody went to rank 1 in the smithing skill and get the most XP in that skill. Before I go into the dark side of it, I'll tell you, they didn't even win. They got second place. They came rank 2. And they needed the save stuff method. So, instead of hopping up the toilet, they decided to urinate in bottles instead. Oh, that's just normal. One of the worst community is.
Yeah, I don't know if you expected us to sometimes you just gotta keep on playing.
Kieran, our guys in defense are saying you told the wrong story. That rank 2 person did legit shit their pants.
Oh, did they?
I just was afraid this was going to be some kind of self-deprecating story here.
It's self-defecating.
Sorry, but I will not be sharing
No,
this live stream.
absolutely enough.
Okay.
I know you want to too. I know you're impatient. And I see this chat at work that's going sponsors too.
I was just gonna say, like, a couple of times, like, we really see ourselves as the creators of this game. We just need Level 1, and we probably won't be the last people to develop this game either, right? This game's gonna stay around in the future. We're temporarily in charge of it, and we're looking after it, helping it to go forward for the community. That's gonna be the community will be the one ever present. They'll be the ones who stick with it for the entire world.
I guess, yeah. I mean, that's one good way of
Yeah, and anyone who is like in the past and jumping in because I just saw what's going on, like, questions actually. Like, is there any resources that you tell them to look at? Jump in, have fun.
Jump in, have fun, but definitely open a new tab. The old school wiki, as I said earlier, is the best wiki for any game ever. The old school .runescape.wiki. Have that on your site, and if you need to use it, request, as it says in the quest guide. I guess, you know what, if I was to compare old school to the game, it's more like Morrowind, in that you have to look at the words in front of you to tell you where to go next. It's not a Skyrim, where there's big, have fun, play, read the quests, read the lore.
I think that's probably the best answer you could probably yeah, it's his turn on the computer, just like the old days. So, so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And guys, if you haven't, check out OSRS. And we'll probably continue playing it on the after show as well. So thank you guys all so much. Really appreciate it.
Sweet, see you guys.
Yeah, thanks, man.
There it is, boys. What did you guys think? Was it fun? Have a good time? Let me see. I get back on the game. Re-log on. Hopefully it doesn't make me log back on again. Yeah, we'll just download it and everything. Alright. Okay, let me know whenever you're on. I'll go ahead and I'll host you, alright? Say a couple of things I wanted quick. Number one.
HQ contested.
You guys want fine. I'll put something on the ground here.
Allied cluster.
Just give me a minute. Today was the first day that we had the sponsorship training. I've never done any of this before. I didn't really know how it was going to go. I want to say that I really appreciate everybody being so supportive and so helpful and such great community. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult for me to play some of these new games because I've never really played them before. I don't know what to expect. So I do apologize if there's a little bit of learning difficulty involved. But I'm trying to do my best. I think you guys did your best as well. So thank you guys all so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you all. So much for watching. So on Saturday, as I said before, we will be doing the make sure to follow the stream. We're going to be doing that probably at about 2 Central Time, and whenever that ends up happening, we're going to be evaluating everybody's costumes, your IRL transmog, and that's going to happen in a couple of days. I am super excited about this. It is going to be on Put In. It's going to be on the OTK subreddit, or you can also do it on a video and also a couple of pictures. So what's up?
Yo, chat. They keep standing in the chair.
Wait, my mom thought I was being an asshole, making you stand the whole time?
I'm not sure. You're upsetting everybody.
You're making my mom upset. You guys hear that? Like,
Stop calling me short.
yeah, you're calling him short so much you make my mom. So you make my mom mad. Obviously, we had a great day today. I really fucking appreciate it. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Next stream will be on Saturday. And what we're going to be doing is, again, the Halloween OTK transmog special. We're bringing on, by the way, we're going to have Rick. We're going to have Ms.
That's Eno from Capital One.
From Capital One?
It's the Capital One assistant that looks out for classes with big surprises.